Mbeki cited his own personal experience in conflict resolution in Africa and pointed to conflicts in the DRC, Burundi, Cote d'Ivoire and elsewhere as emblematic of how the failure to manage diversity, be that ethnic, racial, religious or otherwise, can quickly spiral out of control, as evidenced in Ethiopia today.
As the African Union, the year to silence the guns 2020 was coming to a close. This conflict broke out in the Tigray region. The challenge properly to manage the very pronounced diversity of Ethiopia constitutes the very heart of the violent conflict involving Tigray. And the incontestable truth, Mr. Chairman and distinguished council members, is that the successful management of this diversity cannot and will not be achieved through weapons of war.
Mbeki told the council that he supported an immediate ceasefire in Ethiopia that leads to an inclusive dialogue to achieve the goal of unity in diversity, pointing to the principle of no victor, no vanquished, as exactly what the Horn of Africa country requires. As this council now grapples with how issues of diversity, be that at the national or international level, is increasingly weaponized to cope with issues such as economic distress and growing inequality, a trend that is now visible even in traditionally stable and wealthier countries around the world.
As you know, President
Mbeki called for the primacy of politics as a key peg to peace building.
This insistence on the primacy of politics is to emphasize that the resolution of conflicts should not be driven simply or mainly by security considerations. The primacy of politics means that conflict resolution must address the vital matter of the root causes of the conflict, and thus aim not merely to silence the guns, important as this is, but to ensure sustainable peace.
A view echoed by Rwanda's president, whose own country emerged from genocide in the mid-1990s.
There is no universal template that can be transferred automatically from one context to another. External advice and examples can be helpful in encouraging reflection and finding new approaches, and we have benefited from various partnerships ourselves in Rwanda. Third, we must reckon with the growing power of social media to exploit vectors of divisions in society that can quickly weaken the social fabric.
Kenya's president warned that poor management of diversity was leading to grave threats to international peace and security.
In all states, whether democratic or not, we should place safety rails on political competition. This can be achieved by incentivizing a political culture that does not endanger national cohesion, by exploiting identity to divide and create enmity between citizens. Second, we need to undertake thorough reviews of our international institutions to consider whether they are fit for purpose in building a more inclusive world and managing diversity better, particularly in times of crisis such as the COVID-19 pandemic.
For his part, the UN chief Antonio Guterres told the council that peace is not found on a piece of paper, but in a diversity of people from different backgrounds coming together to chart a common course for the country. Sherman Briceby's SABC News, New York.